But in the meantime, the next financial hit for elite institutions, wealthy Jewish families are now rejecting the Ivy Leagues for Plan B schools. Our next guest is seeing people changing their mind last minute in this application cycle. College admissions consultant Christopher Rim joins us now. Christopher, it is so great to have you with us this afternoon. Christopher, I understand that you work with families and helping their kids gain admission to college. Are they now turning their backs on the Ivy Leagues?
Thank you for having me. I'm seeing a huge change right now. We have students who've worked with us and my team since 7th, 8th, ninth grade. And for example, one student, her dream school was Columbia. Now, all of a sudden, over the past few weeks, this student's new dream school is now Emory and does not even want to apply to any of the Ivy League schools. She is so upset by the way that these university leaders and presidents have responded, or how long it took for them to respond to all the anti-Semitism that's happening on campus.
Christopher, you're working with the kinds of families who are not only preparing their kids to try to get into these schools from 7th, 8th grade, but these are the kinds of families that can make really significant donations as well. Do you expect to see more of what we've started to see in terms of donors pulling back and saying, my money and my child are not going anywhere near your institution?
Certainly. I mean, I have, stories and a lot of clients who tell me that their friends, their extended family members, have been donating $2 to $7 million every single year since their child was in kindergarten or first grade. And now come senior year, about 11, 12 years later, they're writing it off as a complete loss. And this is really to send a message to these universities that they're not going to get a single dollar, whether it's in a form of tuition or donation. And they're trying to show these leaders that, there must be change. Students must be protected from anti-Semitism. And, it's an open secret that a lot of these donations have some influence on admissions policies. I think there's going to be a lot of change, a lot of restructuring, and let's see what happens. But I think once university presidents and the leadership on different corporations, the board or the corporation, as some universities call it, once the chairman is replaced or the president's replaced, I do think the demand will skyrocket back to normal.
Christopher, this indoctrination, though, is so widespread across the country. You look out in Oakland at what was on display at a city council meeting, where people willingly stood up in front of a microphone and blamed the Israeli army for slaughtering their own people in just utter denial. And we're watching these live pictures at NYU. And this is a denial of history. It's the oppressed versus the oppressor. It's rooted in diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's clearly starting much before these dangerous idiots get to college. How do you root out, when you're looking at schools, at colleges and universities, to avoid? How do you ensure the parents and the students that this isn't going to happen at a school that the parents are paying for?
Definitely. And the thing is, it's impossible to make sure that this doesn't happen. I would say every year there are going to be students, with opposing viewpoints. And to be honest, at a lot of these universities, free speech, free expression, all of that should be encouraged. But once it crosses the line into anti-Semitism, that's dangerous. These students, and all students really, require and need that protection from university presidents and leaders. And that's what's missing. That's why a lot of these students and parents are so upset. Because, for example, it took the president of Harvard 5 days to issue a statement. And then that statement was incredibly weak and really didn't say much. And you can't say anti-Semitism is free speech. It's not. It's hate speech.
Right, but like at Harvard, you have more than 100 members of the faculty angry at President Gay that she said she was going to stand up against anti-Semitism. In essence, they were anti-Semitic. And they were angry that they couldn't use the phrase, in essence, from the river to the sea. And so, how do you ensure that kids don't go to a school like that. So, Christopher, thank you for being here. It was great to see you.